Hello dear people who are interested in dance. As spiritual master, the body is very important to me. My offer is accordingly diverse, from body therapy to oriental dance to chakra dance and other spiritual dance. However, this video is about ballet dance. We are a small, nice, very personal group that meets regularly here at my home. We enjoy dancing and have fun together in the community. So that you can get to know belly dance at home, we have put together this video for you. We show you a few basic techniques that are very simple, but they are chosen in a way that you can dance with it right from the beginning. Really get started. So turn on your favorite Oriental music and have fun with Oriental dance. If you realize that you would like to learn more or dance in community, then you are welcome. Have much fun. Why do I emphasize the community so much? Because the very original female togetherness is in the foreground with us. However, men are also welcome. I would like to introduce Michaela and Susanne. Michaela says, I have been involved in belly dancing for many years and have been in several groups, but recently I have danced only for myself for some time. Susanne says, I have no belly dance experience at all. Then let's get started right away. There are relatively few steps in Oriental dance because it lives from the isolation movements from the center of the body. A particularly typical basic step is the so-called Arabic basic step. It is used in most Oriental music, so we would like to show it to you first. It starts with a step forward with the right foot. We'll do it all together, then you can see it better. The weight is on the front foot, which means we could lift the back foot, but we don't do it. Then we step backward to the back foot, pick up the front foot and put it down in the back. We shift our weight to the back foot so that we could lift the front foot, but we don't, we stop here. That is, we go forward, step, backward, step, forward, step, backward, step. The Arabic basic step is that simple. That's why we can dance it in all four directions right away. That is, we go forward again, step, backward, step. Then we turn to the right side by putting the foot down to the side. Forward, step, backward, step. And again we change direction. We don't set off to the front, but to the next side. Forward, step, backward, step. There again we stop. And turn to the side, forward, step, backward, step. Now we do this fluently. Forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. We turn to the front and change our feet to where Susanne wanted to go before. Now we follow her by taking the left foot. Forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. And now we'll tell you how to make the change. For this we practice forward, backward, forward, step and change. Now we move forward, backward, forward, step and change. Forward, backward, forward, step and change. Forward, backward, forward, step and change. Now we combine all this by turning around once to the right and then to the left. Forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, and step. Forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, and step. Already we are standing on the other foot again and can continue dancing. Now we do the Arabic basic step with music too. What you hear in the background is the maksum. This is a rhythm that is very common in classical Arabic dance music. We'll start. I'll count ahead 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. This rhythm is the Masmudi Zakia, the so-called Little Masmudi. To this rhythm you can dance the Arabic basic step as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. I would like to introduce to you the basic posture of Oriental dance. We have the side view with Michaela and Susanne, and you see me from the front. First of all, the feet are important. Please keep the inner edges parallel, about hip width below the hip bones, so that about one hand fits between them. Keep the ankles loose and the knees loose as well. Throughout, the knees are always slightly bent. They are never fully extended. Hips also loose, as if you were sitting before. Come up a bit so that it's comfortable. Keep the back straight. Make the spine long. You can see this especially well on the side views. Keep the back loose and long. Straighten the upper body. We are all here, proud, beautiful women. Head straight, upright. Connected to the sky and the earth. Yes, and that's it. Try it out, see if you can move well with it, be loose with it. Okay, here we go. In addition to the heaven and earth basic position, there are the arms. It is best if you first stretch them out completely straight in both directions. Then take them a little bit forward. Slightly lower the elbows. Hold the hands elegantly. The basic position is ready. For the elegant hands, you can also use a tool at first, namely one pen for each hand. You clamp them under the index and little finger on both sides. The thumb you hold loosely down. Then stretch out your arms again, slightly bent. When you're used to it, you can try it without pens. Then it looks something like this. And because the arms are not always held only in this one position, I would like to show you a pre-exercise for the smooth transition between the different positions. The best thing is to imagine as if you were pulling strings away from the body. With this elegance, you can then also take other positions, for example like this. Okay, we'll take our basic posture again. The arms we can hold to the sides, but if they become lame, then we can also take them down. For the moment, it's about the isolation layers. There are three areas: the hips, the upper body, and the head. In order to first perceive these areas in isolation, we will practice a preliminary exercise that we shift them. We start with the hips. To get a feeling for them in the first place, we very slowly move the hips from side to side. Try out how far you can move them at all. It can also be a stretching exercise at the same time and to warm up. Move the hips horizontally, please. This can give the feeling as if they tilt down a very small amount at the end. But this is only because the hips reach further out. The upper body remains completely still, as if placed on a tabletop. Only the hips move, and all the time the knees are bent. If you have already developed some feeling for the hips, now hold them steady and move on to the upper body. We move the upper body from one side to the other too. The hips remain relaxed. We let the head follow the movement as we pay no further attention to it. It's only about the upper body at first, to get a feeling for it and to stretch and loosen. When you have done this for a while too, the third thing is the head. The whole body remains steady in its basic posture. We move the head from side to side as if someone were pulling on the ears. First, we would like to show you the twist. As always, we take the basic posture, feet parallel, knees loose, hips loose. Now we imagine as if we have a stick from top to bottom along the spine. Around the stick, we turn with the hips as a screw. Mind you, only with the hips. The upper body remains as steady as possible. We practice this very slowly at first. Let's try out. How far can we turn out our hips into one direction and into the other? The upper body should remain completely steady. The knees are allowed to move a little bit to compensate. This is the so-called twist. Then we can also dance a little bit faster and also as jerky movements. Through this, accents are set. Next, we would like to introduce to you the hip sway. Of course, we'll start with the basic posture. That is, feet parallel, knees and hips loose, upper body upright and back long. There are three different ways to approach this hip sway. You best find out which one comes easiest to you. The first one is through imagination. The best way is to imagine a small ball that is in your pelvis. Gently rock it back and forth from side to side. In doing so, find out how much space your hips have to move. The second way to approach the hip sway is more technically. It focuses on the hips, pulling one side up while the other goes down and vice versa. Try this out too, and in doing this, you focus on the hips. The knees go with it as far as necessary. The upper body remains steady. That's why we did the isolation movements before. The third approach is through the knees. You concentrate on the knees, and through the knee movement, the hips move with it. They should then swing up and down again. The upper body remains steady and upright, the back long. Please always make sure not to form a hollow back. We now concentrate on the knees. Again, we can choose different tempos for the hip sway too. It always makes sense to start slowly at the beginning to find out the range of motion, and then we can increase the tempo. With the hip sway, we can again set accents downwards or also upwards. The movement remains the same, but in the imagination it makes a difference. This is done accordingly to the music. So, next we would like to show you the hip circle. As a slow flowing movement, it is well suited for soft melodies. First again, our basic posture. Feet parallel, knees and hips loose. We have already exercised moving the hips to the side. Now we add a movement to the front. The back remains long and to the back. It's important that you don't go into a hollow back, but keep your spine constantly long. It's helpful to imagine that you have a string at your back, here at the bottom, and that you are basically pulling backwards with it. This is easy on the back and feels really well. I'll show it again with me as well. Pull back further up from the spine instead of stick the butt out. Pulling backwards up here is really nice and relaxing, also for the spine. Okay, we are going to start moving now. To one side, backwards, to the other side, forwards, to the side, to the back, to the other side, and to the front. Now we are trying it more fluently. Do it slowly at first to get a feeling for the hip movement. And keep the upper body steady the whole time. If you feel quite well with it, then you can change the direction. How fast or slow you do the hip circle depends entirely on the music. Once again, the other direction. With this you already have the hip circle, so you can dance to slow music. Now please move to the center. From there we can continue with the 8. The 8 can be danced forwards and backwards. We start with one side and push the hip out. Then we move the hip slightly angled forward and switch to the other side on the diagonal, so that it is diagonally back out. Now we push the back hip forward and change sides again on the diagonal. We push the back hip forward, switch over again to the front, and over once more. Now try to move fluently. It is important to leave the spine long because it should be pleasant movements that feel well. So very important, spine long. The knees stay bent the whole time. The idea is that we draw a figure 8 on the floor. Again, the tempo depends on the music and on your taste. When you are back in the middle, please come to a stop. Next we move into the other direction. That is, the hip first goes out to the front, then to the back. We push across the diagonal to the other side. Guide the hip back, switch again to the front, hip goes back, pushes forward, and then we connect the whole thing. The hips move into the other direction. Again we make sure that the spine is long and that the upper body is upright. It is also allowed to move a little bit, better than if it tenses up. But it's all about the hips. The upper body stays loose and upright, spine long, knees go along. The feet stay in place. The movements can flow smoothly into each other, from circles to hip aids and back to circles, as well as hip aid into the other direction. Just as you like it and have fun dancing. Not only can be circled with the hips, but also with the upper body. That's why there are the 3 different layers of isolation. One way of help is to support the hands on the hips. Or try it out on a chair first. Michaela shows the movement from the side so you can see it well. Also with the upper body circle, we move into all directions. Of course, first again our basic position. The lower body remains loose and relaxed or is stabilized on a chair for exercise purposes. We already had the lateral shift. In addition, there is an up and down. If you lean forward a bit in the process, that's no big deal. You can also see this on Michaela. Up and down with a little bit forward and backward. After all, it is a free dance. We move over the 4 corners. To the side, up, to the other side, down. Side, up, other side, down. This we connect to a circle. It is important that the shoulders remain relaxed. Try out whether it is easier for you to stabilize your hands at your hips or if you prefer to let your arms hang. Some people are helped by the idea that here in the middle is a joystick with which the upper body is circled. Practice this movement first slowly and carefully, and then as you like or as the music is. Into the other direction too. Please don't be disappointed if it may not be easy at first, because we just aren't used to moving our upper body like this. Try it once and again and also practice the preparatory upper body shift. With time it will definitely work. I'm sure of that. Next we'll show you what you can already do with what you've learned so far. With Oriental music, one can always orientate well on the rhythm. And that's why we'll start with it. We know the Arabic basic step, the sway and the twist. Everyone dances improvised as one wishes, and you are welcome to join in.
Hör mal hin, erkennst du den Rhythmus wieder? Was sagst du? Ja, sehr gut. Okay, dann legen wir mal los.
Oriental music is structured in such a way that there is a melody over the basic rhythm. To the melody, one can dance the hip circles, hip aids and upper body circles quite wonderfully. If you like, you can also move your hands and pull strings. We would like to dance improvised together with you. Have fun! Now we would like to introduce to you the Daidi rhythm. This is an Upper Egyptian rhythm that men like to dance to. May I ask you to join me? We stand in the basic posture with loose knees. Then we do a side step, tap, side step, tap. We just pull the foot in without putting our weight onto it. Side step, tap, side step, tap, side step, tap, side step, tap. Instead of the tap, we now do a kick. That is, we start again with the side step, tap, side step, tap, side step, tap, and then side step, kick, side step, kick, side step, kick, side step, kick. It is important that you remain loose in the knees, upper body straight. Saidi is a popular rhythm which is used with stick dance. In Berlin, Germany, I offer spiritual dance as chakra belly dance, body therapy, and oriental dance. For this I also use cymbals, stick, sword, and wail. Occasionally I also perform.
مين بيرقص جنبي مين احنا معنا احلى حلوين لما بسمع صوت طبلتك دم تك تك ودم انا عدلي ولا وطار رايح جاي بالبازار والليلة دي احلى ليلة والحلوين كتار كتار حلوي حب الرمان حبك قلبي من زمان.
If you would like to join us, you are very welcome.